We're back. Episode, what are we on, Panda? 4? Is this 4?
Oh.
Yeah, 4. Welcome, guys, to the Aim Down Sights podcast. This is episode number 4. And yes, we will be talking about the 30 frames per second thing and Hellblade. Sorry if you don't like that, Def Leppard, but it's got to be addressed. We got to address it. It is what it is. But welcome out, chat. Welcome, panel. We got Red Dead out here. Obviously, Next Gen Nero is not with us tonight. He is spending some time with family. Hopefully there he is. Let's go. What's up, Nero? He's in the chat. He's with us one way or another. So we love that guy. Appreciate him and all his gaming knowledge. But tonight we got David Whitaker with us from Level 1 Gaming. If you don't know who this is, you probably should. You should be watching his stuff, looking him up. He's got a great website too. Man, they all I heard from everybody at PAX East, the Iron Lords and everyone, was, David, how hard you were working there, man. So welcome to the Aim Down Sights podcast, but congrats on everything you're doing, man. And happy to have you, man. So welcome to the show.
No, I appreciate it. Listen, that intro was heat. Like, I'm over
I saw you do a little bob there. Yeah.
Yeah. I came on like, this from the graphics to the sound, this thing is it's so freaking good, man. You
love
already.
Months of work and months of. Ask Panda how many times we picked so many damn songs, but that one just hit. That hit, and we worked on the graphics forever. So, yeah, honestly, thank you for liking that, because I'm not a graphic guy, and that shit took me months. That probably would have taken someone else a week, but for me, it took like 2 damn months.
Hey man, pat yourself on the back, both of you guys, man, because that thing. If you're not excited to hear people talk about video games after hearing that intro, then you don't like podcasts or video games, because that thing.
That's right.
Perfect.
Let's go. Love it.
Yes.
Lord Roughness says, yes, RHETRI, Panda, and Fame. Let's go. Thumbs up across the board. Absolutely. Panda, I know I usually have Nero popping up the chats tonight. You mind taking his duties and kind of, when there's some good stuff popping up. Oh, there we go. So, yeah, you can't hide. Level 1 game just subscribe. Thank you, David. Appreciate that. If you guys are new here, make sure to subscribe. And if you do, obviously you'll get that pop up. We'll see and we'll recognize you. And because that's one of the reasons we're trying to use this software and do make it more like a Twitch streamer type of scenario. But yeah, definitely out here. Love you, Lord Roughness. Excited to talk some game stuff. There's been a lot of news. There was so many damn topics that were on this topic list, like way more than usual, because things just kept popping up at the last second. It was kind of driving me nuts. I'm just like, I want the news week to end, but new stuff just kept coming in. Yes, Nero, fuck IGN, hashtag fuck IGN. That's one of the things we say around here, because we're not big fans of IGN around here. But I'll start asking you, David. I know you've been busy lately. You just, you got back from PAX not too long ago. Did an awesome bang up job, like just covering. You guys obviously didn't get much sleep, because I saw how much coverage you were doing, and everyone I talked to told me you guys were probably the hardest working people there. That's what I heard multiple times from people that I reached out to that were there. So congrats on that. But what I want to ask you is, now that you're back home, what games have you been playing, man?
This is an indie game, and I'm hoping everything's still working on my end, because my screen went completely black.
Was it? No, you're good. I see you.
Yeah, I'm completely black. I can't see you guys at all, but you guys can hear me and you guys can see me, so it's all good.
We see you,
right?
We hear you. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. I've been playing this indie game called Knight vs. Giant. It came out back in 2013.
Oh wow.
That game is actually if you ever met a guy named Baron Jesse 7, called it a fame game, like those roguelites where indie. I'm a really big indie game player. That game has been having me really hooked. I streamed it for about a couple of hours, a couple of days ago. Shout out to the P Cube who sent me out over at Code. I finally got around to it, so that's been captivating me. Power World is about to take my time again, because the freaking updates.
Yeah, you're good company right here,
calling my name. Yeah. I just really wish that they would allow us to like merge servers over. I got a friend who's been like telling me, "Hey, go back to Power," and I'm like, I'm kind of busy, because he's been playing at my world. So it's like he's either start over or wait for me to get on, which kind of sucks. I kind of wish we would have started playing on PC, but how can you pass up Game Pass, right? So yeah.
Did I miss? Was there a major update, David? I might have missed it.
Raids
the raid thing happened? Damn it. I missed that. That already went through?
Yep.
Oh, shit. Okay.
There's some leaks about new portions of the map, new pals. So Pal World is I'm hoping they start to get this player base back. And I know at one point it was reported they lost like 97% of his player base. But it kind of makes sense, after a while there's only so much you can do in that game. It doesn't take kind of min max it. But Power World is back in my rotation. Knight versus Giant. And I'm just waiting on Senua to take over my life again.
There you go. Let me ask you a question. I know it's only April. It's the beginning of April. It's still early in the year, but I'm curious because Power World was my game of the year this year so far. Something else trumped it, and that would be Dragon's Dogma 2 for me. But do you have a game of the year so far for yourself personally?
If you had asked me this a couple of weeks ago, I would have told you Power World. Because that I think for what it did, I don't want to say culturally, but it being such a phenomenon, right? It was an absolute phenomenon, right? It was the talk of the town. You had people, what is Nintendo going to do? Are they going to sue? Are they going to do that? And other people saying, hey, this is the Pokemon game I've always wanted, right? I think it was because it was so good and it was so tantalizing. I still think it's up there in contention. As far as right now, it might still be mine. But it's going to be interesting to see how quickly that kind of falls away.
Yeah. Well, that happened to me, David. Like I was like, there's no way nothing's going to touch Power World. It's up here. It's too damn good. And I'd never played Dragon's Dogma 1. I knew nothing about it. Red Dead Panda was just like out here on the streets, just pushing it. And I'm like, what's the big deal on this fucking game? Like, who cares? And then I got it. And
you got that dogma in you, RHETRI.
Oh, I got that dogma in me, just like the Twitter, yo. I got that dogma in me 100%. This game, oh my God, I love it. It's bringing me back to Elden Ring, my Elden Ring days, man, when I was stuck on that too. Roughness is asking, RHETRI, how you guys getting on with DD2? He says, I'm 72 hours in and hit a new area today. Batal. Yeah, I did get to that area, Roughness, way too early. I went there way too early and got my teeth kicked in, so I had to upgrade.
Jedi Knight Peter did too, and I was like, get out of there. I was like, don't you go there, you're not high enough yet.
It took me like an hour and a half just to like get out of the area. Like every 10 steps I was getting wrecked. But yeah, good to hear. I mean, obviously, I think we lost him. All right. He'll come back in and I'll plug him back in. There he is.
I'm going through it right now. I apologize.
You're good, dude. Yeah, my internet's doo-doo, so yeah, I have issues on this end too. But you're back. You're here. So
I can see you guys again.
Okay, good. I was going to say what you can do is you could always go to the YouTube page if you can't see us through the software or something. I don't know what was going on in your end, but yeah, I was saying, David, it's good to hear someone else that enjoyed Power World as much as I did. Because on the other podcast I do on the Gamers Council that we do tomorrow, that like me and Dave, that's the other guy podcast with is Dave. Me and Dave, that's like our game. Like Power World was it for a while. It is so damn good.
I picked it up. I touched it for a little bit, but I was waiting for it to, I guess, become more stable and just add more things into the game before I really wanted to spend a hell of a lot of time in that game. So yeah, I will pick it back up again. It is. I mean, I'm 128 hours into Dragon's Dogma 2, so like, that's a time suck too.
I know what you did this week when I was playing Fortnite. Oh, I saw you every time in my Discord. I'm looking. I saw you DD2 every time. So I needed to step away to see if I could step away. You know what I mean?
I played Halo for a little bit, and I was like, oh, I can't DD2.
Yeah, dude, it's hard. Like I like a lot of shooters and stuff too, but man, once you get into these games, it's hard to step away from some of these. So yeah, hey, C Money, I saw you and King David playing some Fortnite together. Thanks for the invite, you jerk. I didn't see an invite on my screen. That's fine. I'll forgive you. That's all good. I was playing with the full crew anyway. What's going on, brother? Yeah, so I would ask you, Panda, what you're playing, but we all know what you've been playing. You're at 128 hours. You're so far ahead of me. And DD2, it's an addiction.
I picked up a bow that gives you like 3 to 4 times extra XP, but I haven't used it yet because I'm just finishing off the Trickster vocation, and then I've
I'm gonna need that bow.
I've got the Warfare
archer.
vocation to finish, and then I've completed all 10 vocations in the game. So I'm so close to completing all of them. But I faced off against Medusa, and she is fun, and she kills your pawns.
Ooh. And she, oh yeah, poor
you
pawns.
need like the special shield, which you can use to like petrify her with it. And then, like, when you defeat her, you get this really cool headpiece, which means that you can give that to your pawns so they can go in and fight her and not get petrified.
Do you get to keep the petrified shield, or is it just for her? Is it specific to that?
I mean, you can use it. Yeah, you can use it.
Oh, you can use it. Okay.
Specifically designed for her, though. But you can use it for anything else. Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
You have to be a fighter to use that sword and shield.
Oh, right. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I see. What's going on, Gerald Spartan? Say hi to some of my peeps here. Def Leopard, what's going on? RSJ, I'm sure you're playing Final Fantasy 14 right now. Probably not listened to me. I saw you earlier. Sanchez Gaming, he says, I'm back in Power World after the new raid dropped. Yeah, man, I don't know how I missed the raid news. I don't know how I missed that.
Fortnite. Yeah.
Great game saying Power not my type of game. I think it's dope. How it blew up though. Yeah, I mean it's not. Look, Minecraft's huge. I don't touch it. It's one of the biggest games on the planet. It's not for me. Baldur's Gate 3, everyone loved it. I bought it. I didn't like it. So you never know.
You never know.
I liked playing with other people. It was great when you're playing with other people.
That's true. You and Pete did play. I probably should have joined you. But I was so new to that game that I was like, I want to learn this by myself. And it just I don't know. It should have hit. It just didn't hit for me. I can't really explain it. It is what it is. But I'll get into the first quick subject, and I just want to bring this up because I am the Game Pass guy. I love Game Pass, but on the other side is PlayStation's PlayStation Plus service. I thought this was kind of interesting. They got Dave the Diver coming this month, as well as Tales of Kenzera, Zao, which I've been propping up big time. Play that game, buy that game.
That game looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's gonna be like I think it's like $18 when it goes on sale. But it's going into PlayStation service. I was kind of hoping it was going to go into Game Pass, but now I know why it's not in Game Pass, because we know how those deals work. It's going one or the other usually. But Dave the Divers, and I mean that was indie of the year according to some people. Some people say it's not even indie at all, but
not an indie,
yeah, like the indie that's really not an indie. But those are two pretty good gets, I think, from PlayStation. So it's nice to see that, at least on the Tales of Kenzera side, that they're doing a day one contribution to the service. So I guess it's okay to do day one on PlayStation Plus now. I mean, I know that's not the first game, but
hear me out.
I think it'll help.
I'm gonna do.
Go ahead. Yeah, I
want to get my PlayStation brethren always say to do, and I'm gonna support the devs by going out and buying the game day one on Xbox.
That's
right. Because if you play on a subscription service, you're not supporting the developers. So I'm going to buy it on Xbox day one because the game looks amazing, and I'm gonna support the developers.
Support them, help them out, feed the devs, man. They need it. Hey, and this is their first game too. They're brand new studio. Tales of Kenzera, it looks fantastic. Red Dead, you got anything to add to this whole PlayStation thing, adding those games? And I just wanted to poke the bear, really, just kind of shove it in their face a little bit. To kind of what David said, it's like thought we're not supporting them if we're playing this in a subscription service.
Honestly,
what's going on?
I think it's fantastic news. I think it's bloody fantastic that these games are going there and getting an audience right away. My concern is the numbers that actually subscribe to that service don't probably, I think,
move the needle too much.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to move the needle too much. And I don't see people looking at these games and going, I'm definitely going to subscribe to this service for them.
I don't.
Because
I don't think
these games like Game Pass fodder is what they trash talk around Xbox games that are like these smaller indie games. But you and I both know, all of us know, that playing Game Pass and being introduced to some of these smaller games have been absolutely amazing for defining and redefining me as us as gamers and what we like. One of my favorite games I have played is Tinykin. I can't.
I love you, Panda.
I love that game so much. If I wasn't married, I'd marry you.
It is one of my all-time. I love that fucking game. God damn it. Internet, play that game. It did not get enough love.
It did not get enough love. That game
is
fantastic.
One of the best platformers
I would have never looked at
years.
it twice if it wasn't in Game Pass. And so I think this is great that this really starting to look like they're investing more into that streaming service, and they're testing the waters with smaller titles and giving their fan base or their consumer base a little bit more of a palette around different genres of games and things like that. And people can stop focusing on those big AAA, graphically impressive games that they have made their bread and butter on and start to diversify as gamers themselves. So I think it's fantastic. I am also of the mindset of poke the bear, and exactly what you said there, Pam, around, supporting the devs, and I'm going to buy it on a service that is not within the subscription. Like, I'm just going to buy it as is. Just to kind of why would you do that though? Like, why would you just go, fuck you money? We're already living in an environment where there's people are struggling, and we're like, you know what, I'm just going to set this money on fire when I could get a discount or save money. It's like the dumbest thing to do in the world is just go, you know what, I'm struggling.
Who needs
I'm
going
to support those devs to the point where I can't put food on my table.
And to RSJ's point, aren't you supporting the publisher, not the dev? Exactly. That's why we make fun of them, because it's bullshit. It's a bullshit narrative, Becca. That's why every time I say that, like, the fucking dev ain't seen a dime of that. With DLC, they ain't seen any of that shit. No. They have a salary. What the fuck? They're not seeing any of this money. There you go, Def. He loved Tinykin too. Appreciate you, man. But yeah, definitely. Nero, please check out Tinykin, brother. I know you'll like that. Adidas, I have not finished RoboCop yet. I will, brother. You gifted that to me. I promise you, I will finish that game. It just came at just so many games came out on Game Pass at the same time. But I promise you, I will definitely finish RoboCop, because what I played of RoboCop so far was fantastic.
We're gonna see the hypocrites start coming out of the woodworks again, with these more games launching into PlayStation Plus. Like, it's gonna start happening.
Sure.
And they're gonna have to try and walk it back, and then try and save face, and then try and
What's
go,
new?
well, then they're gonna go, well, I tried it, I'm now gonna buy it, and we're like, you're using all the same arguments that we used against. Like, honestly. It's entertaining to watch, but I think it's great news at the end of the day, especially for those developers. That just getting that extra spotlight on their games. Yeah, free advertising essentially.
Absolutely.
And you know how Sony likes to charge for advertising on the.
And I seen the guy, I cannot remember his name right now, the guy in charge of the studio, the guy who obviously started the studio, Tales and Kenzera. He's been on a bunch of podcasts, which has been great. You know, he's doing his rounds. I'm gonna try to reach out to him too. I would love to talk to him, because that game gives me Ori vibes. I played the beta. It's fantastic, man. Like, I am super impressed with what they've been able to pull off as their first game coming out the gate. You're swinging that hard. Yeah, that's a little indie studio I'll be watching in the future for sure. So that was that news. I just wanted to get through that. So good on PlayStation, I guess, for getting that. It's a good get, in my opinion. Some news. We got Yellow Brick Games announces its studio's debut release, I should say, not released. So that's cool. It's called Eternal Strands. Let me see. Let me get us over here. See if I can actually play that. Which thing did I put it in? Was Eternal Strands over here? No, find out in a second. All right, Eternal Strands. Where you at? All right, hold on. Give me a second here.
Anyway,
yeah, go ahead. I'm sharing
do we
screen
dance?
right now. So
during the silence, what should we do?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you said you had been playing Dragon's Dogma 2, right?
No, it released Right, it
Well, you've
released
been
while
playing
I
Power
was
World,
in.
right?
Yes, well, Power World, and also I can't believe I forgot to mention how much I've been playing Helldivers too. But Dragon's Dogma
Yep.
released while I was in PAX, while I was in Boston.
Oh,
And I was like, oh, okay, I'll just play it when I get back. When I got back, I never got around to, like, I haven't even bought it yet, but it was on my radar. But I was like, I'm not gonna freaking go out and play it. And it just sits there, and I'm gonna be in Boston. I'm gonna come back, editing stuff, and never get around to actually gaming. So now this weekend will probably be the first time I actually get on, download it, and finally get to it, because I've heard nothing but amazing things about it. I just haven't had the opportunity to go in there
don't fall into
and
any
really devote
horrible
time
traps.
to it.
The game doesn't tell you shit. Hey, RHETRI.
I mean, she's right. It doesn't tell you nothing. I had to look up a lot of guides. I'm a lot. I know a lot of people are like anti-guide. I am pro-guide. It made like the experience for Elden Ring much better for me. So
I mean, Elden Ring is like.
Don't be ashamed of using guides, guys. Who gives a shit? They're out there for a reason, and I love them. But I want to show this footage. Let me know if you guys can hear the stuff. It should be coming in a second. Is audio coming through on that? All right, good. I mean, I don't know. I thought that looked pretty damn good. Yeah,
that looks good.
Go Yellow Brick Games. Yeah. This is why anytime like people go Monopoly, the industry, I go, here's another example. New studio you never heard of. Most people, 99% of people probably never heard of Yellow Brick Games, because I forgot they even existed. And you get a trailer like this. I think this game looks fire. No pun intended on the dragon at the end there. But what do you guys think? You think it looks good, or something you might be interested in playing here?
It looks fantastic, and it like to your point, it kind of shows you like there's never really going to be like a monopoly in the games industry, right? Because you always going to have a studio that's not attached to none of the big brands, none of the big names, that can make a fantastic game, right? It's all about the developers and the art and the artists, and if they have an idea and they have some financial way to make their game, they're going to make games, and they're going to look freaking. I mean, this game could come out and it'd be absolutely terrible, right? But from what we've seen, it looks great, and that's what I love about the games industry, right? Is that there's always going to be something new to captivate you, whether you play on Xbox or PlayStation or PC or Switch, regardless of your bias, right? There's always something to play. Always. And that's why we have the best hobby in the world, because stuff like this can come out of left field and surprise you. That's why I love what we do, man. This game looks fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Panda, what do you think?
I think it looks great. I am excited. The music, everything just looks like it's going to be a game that you're going to really enjoy playing. I really like the art style. I don't know what it is. This art style always...
I do too. It gets me every time.
Every time I'm just like, something so lovely about it, and I'm like, I have to go play those games. I want to see more on it, to be honest, especially when I read that the creative director from the Dragon Age franchise was leading development for this, and I was like, yes.
Oh, that should get you excited.
Yeah, I love Dragon Age. Actually, anything BioWare related, basically. For me, anytime we're seeing more games coming out and it looks like they're putting a lot of time, effort, and there's going to be a lot of support and hype behind it, I'm happy. I really want, for like a debut game from a new studio, that I think this is a great way to introduce it that first time, build that hype level, show something. This reminds me of like games when I used to play when I was younger, where you've got that massive colossive monster or bad guy, and this tiny little thing, and you're like running up, and you just like hit them, and it's like dink.
Yeah, it doesn't go dink anymore. It's more powerful.
No, it
it's got
doesn't.
more
It's just
oomph.
like...
But back in the day, it went. You're right. Definitely did that.
Yeah. So it's one of those games where I'm like, I'm intrigued and I want to get into that world. It just gives me that exploration vibes that I really like from games.
Yeah.
Any type of role-playing game, I'm really obsessed with. They're like my favorite genre.
Yeah, me too. Apparently, last like 3 or 4 years, that's always seems to be my game of the year. So I'm like, oh, this game's the best, and then there comes some RPG they kick it in the teeth. So it looks like it's inspired from Shadow of the Colossus and Monster Hunter. So I'm a little scared because Monster Hunter was a little difficult for me. So I hope the difficulty level is not Monster Hunter difficult, but and you got, like you said, like the massive creatures and all that stuff. So, and it definitely, I said the game will combine Tears of the Kingdom type physics. I definitely got Tears of the Kingdom vibes from this trailer, 100%. It says you're gonna be an ultimate sorcerer, supreme badass. That's, yeah. So I think it looks fire, man.
I mean, just from the trailer, like you can just tell that it's gonna have great physics and everything else that you want in a game.
Yeah, you almost like a lot of these trailers, where you see gameplay and you see like the movement. I always pay attention to the physics and the movement. I'm like, is the gameplay going to be good? And if it looks a little chunky, it looks a little like, jittery, and I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. But this one, I don't know. This one looks pretty damn smooth to me, so I'm definitely here for it.
I was vibing with that music too. It was great.
Yeah, music definitely a good trailer. Yeah, I know. I've been fooled before, man. You put some good music in there, and you show a little bit of combat, and I've been fooled before by these types of things. But we'll see. We'll get on to the next subject. So I'm curious if you guys are hyped about this as I am. We're just flying through this stuff because I'm just so hyped for this. I can't kind of shut up about Fallout coming out, but this is the latest Fallout thing. Let me fix that. There we go.
This is
a little behind the scenes thing,
because you're picking up the mantle of something that so many talented writers and artists have worked on for so many decades. And we knew that we wanted to tell an original story within the Fallout universe.
We were drawn to the idea of creating characters who would embody the different factions that Fallout is so famous for. So a vault dweller, a ghoul, a member of the Brotherhood of Steel.
We wanted to show as much of the world as we can through different lenses, and it just makes you lean in.
My name is Lucy McLean, and I'm an active contributor to the well-being of my community.
She is doing her duty. She's rebuilding America. And then she really has her whole world rocked. She comes out onto the surface and experiences the world for the first time.
Excuse me. Hi. I just want to ask you for directions.
And then it gets real ugly, real fast.
Hello again.
The ghoul is someone who has seen the worst that we have to offer as human beings. He's about as ruthless as they come. Fallout explores the chasm between the haves and the have-nots in a world where it's kill or be killed.
We find Maximus as a recruit. He's a part of the Brotherhood of Steel. Seeing these T-60s, something that symbolizes power, it's a moment of awe. The introduction of Lucy, I don't think it's anything that he would have ever expected.
The Wasteland is very different from the Vault. Fallout does a really great job of showing both sides of that coin.
I love a big setting, so to be able to juxtapose the real human emotions with this large scale is a kind of story that I like to see.
There's a tone reminiscent of The Good, the Bad, the Ugly meets Dr. Strangelove meets Star Wars.
Balancing the darker, more emotional moments with the profound humor creates the unique tone of Fallout.
You're an actual vault dweller.
I am. I thought all you dipshits were dead.
Practically every person I've met up here has tried to kill me.
You have never been on a ride like this before.
You look out at this wasteland, looks like chaos. But there's always somebody behind the wheel.
Why is it not the 11th yet?
God damn, dude. That trailer. Damn, dude. Oh my God. That trailer just.
I'm so hyped for this.
David, I'll go to you first. Like,
ooh.
Are you a Fallout fan of the games? Do you care about Fallout? And what do you think about this series coming up, which is coming this Thursday, actually, is the 11th, I believe. So
if you're on Twitter or X and you know Anchorman, don't tell him I said this, okay? I couldn't care less about Fallout. I've never.
I love your honesty. I love it.
Smallest about Fallout. It's never gotten my attention. It's never like, oh my God, Fallout. Not saying that I think it's bad, right? I can appreciate things for being great and say, you know what, that's probably just not for me. Right? There was a. Not to go off topic, but that was a moment for Hi-Fi Rush. People thought it was a gotcha for me. And it's not a gotcha for me. I think a Hi-Fi Rush that's the game. I don't like it. I don't like rhythm-based games, but I can appreciate that it's a good game. The Fallout series, right? It's not for me, but I can appreciate it being great for other people. This show looks really good. For me to say, I'm not gonna fake it to make it. Say, oh my God, I'm so super hype and excited and da 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 da.
Right.
It's never captured my attention, but I can appreciate it being great for other people.
You gonna watch this?
Fair enough.
Probably gonna watch it. With that said,
yeah, you don't watch it. Check it out, right? See episode 1. See if it's. Yeah. The thing is, what was the show on Netflix that? Oh God, that came out. It was the animation, and it was based on the video game.
Arcane.
Thank you.
I knew when you said animation, I was like, Arcane. Yeah.
I fucking love Arcane. Never played the game. Don't care about the game at all. Arcane is
the show's fantastic.
It's a masterpiece. And so like this could be like Arcane was for me. This could be your Arcane. You don't care about Fallout the games, which is perfectly fine. I know a lot of people who don't. I like Fallout. I don't love it. Like I always had an issue with the combat personally. But 4 improved that greatly. But I'm just so hyped for this damn show. I think the world and the cheekiness, almost like Dorothy, Lucy's kind of like Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz going out into this, unknown world. I just find super exciting, and just her ignorance of how the real world is going on out there. I love that they're doing like the cheeky humor. It's kind of reminding me a little bit of The Boys on Amazon as well, where they don't shy away from kind of going there and making fun of shit that's on there. But Panda, what about you? Are you excited for this Fallout show, which is in days from now?
I am super excited. Like I said, I wish it was the 11th already. It just feels like tonally and like listening to what they've talked about is we could have had a Fallout show years ago, and he just didn't vibe with it. And
yeah, he denied a bunch of people.
He denied a whole bunch of
people.
He
denied a bunch of scripts before he let Nolan
before he agreed on this.
Take the reins.
You can really see there's a lot of love and heart, and like just the level of what you're seeing in the trailer around the detail and the care around making sure that this game comes to life in this particular format on the big screen. And I'm glad it's not a movie. I'm glad it's a TV show, because I feel like many times have genres or movies taken a gaming IP and utterly condensed and destroyed the soul of that game.
I completely agree with that sentiment.
Yeah.
I don't want any, in my opinion, I don't want any video game stuff to be movies anymore. I think they mentioned that BioShock was going to be a movie, and I was like, damn it, everything should be a series. Let it breathe, man.
Series. Yeah.
Let it breathe, you know?
Yeah. And you just look, everything, like it's like what I loved about Fable, the humor, and this is clearly woven into the script, all the different things around it, because you got these innocent vault dwellers coming out into the world, and then reality hits them, and even her like, can you give me directions? Like pointing the gun up and like
with the
looking
gun.
at the fact she's she's like, wait, why do I need to put a gun out to like ask for directions? But it's like, it's those little things that kind of, you're like, yes.
That's what I'm liking about it too. It's the little funny touches. Like I think I just like The Last of Us. I remember watching the previews. I'm like, this is going to be a hit, dude. Like, it had the right people, the right actors, the right writers. All that shit's important. That's what this show had that Halo season 1 did not. And that's why I think this is going to be a big deal. I think it's going to move them needle. I really do. Even though, shout out to Halo season 2, it is fire. Season 1, not so much in my opinion, but season 2 is much better.
Season 2 is just
for Halo.
Season 3.
Yeah.
Why did it end there? I wanted to keep watching it.
I'm so glad that they got a new showrunner for all the difference in the world. Like, you got the right people behind the show, and you can turn it around. So shout out to those guys. But yeah, that season 2 for Halo has been fire. So yeah, I wanted to gush a little bit. I thank you for being honest, David. I love when people like, I don't want an echo chamber. You're not into, I love that. That's what I can tell where you're going. I was like, I don't think he's down for the game.
Original Fallout on PC, like the original point and click like style game before before Bethesda got their hands on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. All right. You're an OG. I wasn't. Geez, I'm trying to remember when I started. I might have started at 3, actually. I don't know if I played the other ones.
So 3 and then New Vegas?
3 New Vegas. Yeah. So I played that. New Vegas is my all-time favorite, without a doubt. I knew they just. What was that? That was Obsidian, right? Was New Vegas? Yeah.
New Vegas.
So,
yes.
There you go, Obsidian, owned by Microsoft. So I'm just saying, another great studio.
House of the Dragon coming out this year. Damn, everything's.
Is that this year? Is that coming out this year? House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon next season. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay. I'm so confused because like Stranger Things was like
by the way
like 2 years apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm down for that. I love me some dragon shit. Little side tangent, but. When me and my wife got married, she did a lot of we're such nerds. Did a lot of Game of Thrones like shit like in her wedding. Like she made like fucking eggs and did like
you didn't do a red wedding vibe. No, I'm kidding.
Dude,
everybody does.
So we turned it into a red wedding vibes.
That would have been my idea.
That's for the vow renewals, right? That's for the vow renewals.
Right, exactly. We're just gonna fucking kill everybody. There you go. Lord Rudna says 3 New Vegas, 4 and 76. Love them all. I didn't really give 76 a fair shot. I know. I seen like Colt been talking about it. A lot of people have been talking about one of those games that started out rough and is in a great shape right now. It's all time, man. Like there's so many damn good games coming out. I'm just like, can I really like start another Fallout right now? I don't know. I mean, shit, I got to finish RoboCop. So.
I mean, Next Gen Nero's right. We need a Gears of War show.
Oh, dude, I've been begging for. I want Gears to go back to kind of like a horror scary theme, and I want a horror based show on Gears.
Gritty,
rated R.
big set pieces and Gears of War 6. Like,
yeah,
I want to be like, make me regret playing this game because you've hurt my soul. Like. That's what I loved about the original trilogy. Was just like,
don't make it open world,
and then you were like,
and don't make it open world, right?
Oh,
please
yeah,
don't make it open world.
So you were not a fan. All right, so you guys were not a fan of the open world aspect in the last Gears. Okay,
I mean, I liked some of the stuff you could do when you were doing open world around the traversal.
That's what I liked, the traversal.
The traversal, but going to place, I was like, no, that's not Gears of War to me.
Yo,
that's
not
about
every
as far
game.
as I want it to go.
Yeah,
Hive Busters though.
Hive Busters, fire. But I kind of agree with you guys. Like it, I think there's this weird sentiment that everything's going to be bigger, everything's going to be open world. No, linear games are okay too. Let's get some linear games. Let's get that's also on the topic of like length. I'm okay with I'm okay with like Hellblade 2 being a shorter experience, right? Like give me more of those. At least it's priced correctly, right?
On length,
$50
though, have you seen the fact that people have now keep reducing the length of that game? First it was 8 hours,
like,
now
it's
it's
like
6, now it's 5. Someone was saying 3 to 4, and I was like, where are you getting your information from, people? Like, what the hell's going on? Like,
here's the thing. Like, I do a lot of stuff on Game Pass, and I use like I advertise like the time to beat the games because a lot of people like that, and they want to know how long it's going to take them, how much time they got to commit. I can tell you every time I go to that website, whatever the amount of time that it says, I'm always over 100% of the time. Maybe it's because I have ADD and I'm like, ooh, piece of candy, and I go over there and I got to go do the other thing. But I have never, ever fucking beat when someone's like, it's a 7-hour game. I'm like, not for this guy. It's going to be 14 hours. Like, I never can finish it on what the average gamer finishes. I guess maybe I'm just doing circles or some shit or getting lost, but I don't know. But yeah, I think this looks fire. Hopefully it'll be good. Comes out this Thursday. So congrats to everyone involved in making that. But let's. Do
you think they're gonna do what they did with the other shows, where they release the first 2 episodes so you can watch back to back, and then
that's a great question. Maybe if I'm Amazon,
I don't want one
I'm milking
episode,
this.
I want 2.
I know. I do think that'll happen. I think Amazon might do like a 2 or 3. They do it for some stuff. Like they did it for like Invincible, the animated one, which is also one of my favorites on there. So Amazon's got some great shows, man. Now I'm thinking about it. So hopefully they'll give you like a little bit of taste, and then I'm pretty sure I think it's got to be weekly. I mean, I don't know I think it's Amazon's the ones who just changed their service a little bit to add fucking ads now. There's now ads when I watch their shit, which pisses me off. It's like, we were already paying for this service. You promised us no ads. We got this service. We got the 2-day shipping for the Amazon and shit. And now you want me to pay more to get rid of those ads on something you were already giving me. Fuck
Disney
you, Amazon.
Plus is doing the same thing.
Are they? Okay,
Disney
I didn't
Plus
know that.
is about to adjust the tier system. And
it's ridiculous.
So that if you're paying for premium, you won't have ads. But if you're not paying for premium, you'll have ads.
I'm telling you, they're not making me feel bad about being a thief. I'm just saying, use a VPN, guys. If they want to keep doing this shit, I have to support the pirates out there. That's a pirate's life for me. I'm sorry. Like, you keep fucking around, you're going to find out. But they'll keep doing it. People are going to keep paying. It's like Netflix. How many times has that gone up in price? I've lost count. But no, it is what it is. All right, let's.
I don't have Netflix anymore.
Yeah, a lot of people cancel that. Yeah, there you go.
Especially Arcane. I'll be pirating
Arcane's
that.
fire. Yeah, Arcane. Oh my god, I love that show so much. And yes, RSJ, it is based on a video game. What the hell was the video game? What was it?
League of Legends, lol.
League of Legends. Thank you. I was never going to remember that because I just didn't. I did. You know what though? I will say one thing. It did make me think about possibly playing League of Legends, and then I did some research online, and then I was told, "Don't fucking do it. It's the most toxic community out of." I'm like, more toxic than COD? They're like, "Yup." I'm like, League of Legends is really? Yup. It's more toxic than COD. I was like, oh, all right.
Very toxic.
I'll leave it be.
Oh, the art style, just the way that honestly, that show is it is chef's kiss. It's so gorgeous.
I love it.
And the story,
great writing.
I was like,
the story is just really good. Yeah, makes you care about the characters, and when bad things or good things happen to those characters, you care, and that's good writing. Music is absolutely on point on that. Okay. So
now I want to watch the show again.
I know, dude. I've watched Arcane like no joke. I don't usually
like 3 times.
I don't repeat anything, but I've watched Arcane 4 fucking times, and I don't do that with anything. So that's how good it is in my world. Cyber Gunter says, "Can't wait to see the Fallout TV show." Yeah, you gotta pay to be ad free. Yeah, it was like an extra $3 or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I know I'm not paying it because I pay them enough. They get enough money from me, Amazon. What's going on, Web Dave? There's my co-host right there for tomorrow's show on the Gamers Council. What's up, brother? Just out here chilling. We got about 34 people on YouTube watching us, and another 40 or so watching us on Twitter. Appreciate you guys. You got the Twitter people are really holding it down. I'm surprised how many people watch this on Twitter, but that's why we simulcast this shit. So we got over 80 people watching us right now. So thank you guys. Nice. That means a lot. We're only 4 episodes in. This is a new show, so we definitely appreciate all the support you guys are giving us. Let's move on to the next subject, which is some pretty cool Xbox stuff going on. Exclusive from Windows Central. It says Xbox President Sarah Bond has set up a new team dedicated to game preservation and forward compatibility. The backward compatibility program will continue to future Xbox hardware. So per emails received by Windows Central, confirmed by Microsoft as genuine, so this is real, Xbox President Sarah Bond recently briefed her team on various topics. I wonder if this is the shot that we saw of her on Twitter in front of the cameras. I wonder if this was part of that or if that was something else. I don't know.
Oh, from that GDC.
No, you remember when she just pushed out an email like last week. We actually had it on our show last week where we showed like the pictures of her at the end of the show, just like in front of a camera, and it said she was. It was a tweet from her saying she was talking to her teams. It could have been GDC related. I'm not sure. But maybe this was it. It says in the email, Sarah Bond reiterated Microsoft plans to build a new Xbox hardware focused on delivering the biggest technical leap ever in a generation. And of course, after all the handheld talk and everything that's come out, we're trying to figure out what the fuck that actually means. We could talk about that, maybe what that might mean to David as well in a second. Sarah Bond also revealed that Microsoft has set up a dedicated team to future-proof their digital game libraries across future hardware paradigms to further build on Xbox's strong history of delivering backward compatibility. It was revealed that Xbox has become Diablo 4's most prominent platform since the game's inclusion into Game Pass, which just basically happened. But I'll go to you, David. Does backwards compatibility, when that happened, when Phil came out on stage and said all that stuff, and to see that Xbox is still doing that, is that something that you personally care about, that you like to see continue going forward?
100%. Not too long ago, Phil Spencer had talked about, he said that Xbox lost the worst generation they could possibly lose, right? And that's what the Xbox One, because that's where people really begin to build their they kind of honed in and said, hey, my library is built here, my games are here, I spent so much money in this ecosystem, this is where I want to be, right? And so that kind of solidified what Microsoft's move was going forward, was, hey, we have to continue to make sure people realize, hey, if you buy your games here, they're going to continue to be here as you move forward, right? So making sure it's, you forward proof. So the games, you're telling me if I buy, Dragon's Dogma 2 or Hellblade 2, that I can replay these or maybe play them for the first time on the next generation of consoles, right? So backwards compatibility has always been important. I know for the longest time, it was a running joke. No one buys new consoles to play old games. Bullshit. It's complete and utter bullshit, right? Because we play old games all the time. Because a lot of times, let's be honest here, how many games this year alone have we purchased and they're just sitting there? We haven't touched them yet, right? They're sitting in the backlog. You never know when it's time to finally crack something open. You never know when it's time to finally start a game, right? That could be this gen. It could be next gen. It could be the gen after that. But if the company's telling me, hey, no matter what, there's going to be an opportunity for you to play this game on this platform. You don't have to hook up the old system. You can put on the new one, and possibly, we know how Xbox does, when we're possibly getting benefits, whether the game's going to be upscaled or whatever the case may be, we're going to get benefits from it. Backwards compatibility is huge. And what we're hearing from Microsoft and Sarah Bond is saying, hey, continue to buy your games here. Continue to believe in a platform, because no matter what, the next generation or generation after, you're going to be able to play those games. And no matter what anybody tells you, oh, when it's time for a new gen, leave old gen behind. Hell no. I want to continue to take stuff with me. It's complete bullshit. I want to continue to take stuff with me. And that to me, that was a huge statement. And you kind of, I know people are worried with the Xbox brand right now. And I understand that. I'm not going to tell you you shouldn't have your feelings because it's your money. I understand that, right? Sure. But if you're telling me, hey, I might have a handheld down the line, I might have a new console down the line, and I can go back and play Hellblade, the original game, sign me up. I'm not going nowhere. I'm here.
I mean, everything you just said, it's funny. Like, you're like, I might have a handheld, and I might have maybe like a different Series X, double X, whatever the hell it's going to call, like another powerful console and backwards compatibility. It almost sounds like now and in the future is the best time to be an Xbox fan to me. You know what I say? Yeah. Like, the worry to me is I think it's a little too soon to worry on the Xbox hardware side. Personally, I think it stemmed from those 4 games going over, and people just didn't think it was going to happen, even though they've been telling you it's going to be happening, and it's been happening for years. Like this. But I think it's real now. Like it's in your face. Like those games are going to other platforms. And I think people are just like, is that going to hurt Xbox hardware? And I honestly don't think it is, especially if they're going to do what they're saying what Phil wants to do and getting other stores involved. But Panda, what's your whole take on game preservation? And Nero did mention that there's going to be forward preservation as well, probably having to do with like boosting these games on future hardware for
Making
FPS boosts and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, a lot of the games that we saw that were cross-gen or last-gen and were made Gen 9 aware so they could run on the Series X and the Series S. So I think that they're not going to stop with that momentum that they've already built since they announced the backwards compatibility. I mean, backwards compatibility has been one of the things Xbox has been doing since the 360, and they've continued it on through to right now. And I think it's really important is we all have a digital library, and we want to make sure that we can still play those games in 5-10 years time. And it's really important.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to see what happened with the Sony and the movie stuff, right? Like the licensing thing is so scary where they could just rip the shit you bought, take it away from you. Just take it away. Like it's a scary scenario.
I look at it and I'm thinking like the messaging was really important. Like people were asking, even on the PlayStation side, they wanted backwards compatibility with their PS4 games to the PS5, and it wasn't 100% announced around how they were going to do that. And then when they did, there were a lot of people who were happy about that. But I also think as long as they keep on the momentum around not charging if they create a next-gen patch or something for that game, that's a big thing. Don't charge for that. I think PlayStation did so many people dirty on that. I know they were trying to make more money on it. I guess it does put more time and effort for the developers. But if people love your game, they will go and play it if they can get a better experience out of it on better hardware, and you make it freely available to them. You're already purchasing that hardware, so you should be able to take advantage of the power available in that hardware that is on offer. And I think for me, there will be heaps of games that I just want to play again and again and again, but I want to be able to take it with me no matter what Xbox platform I'm using in that respect, whether it's handheld, whether it's the next console. So forward thinking, and that's what I think they're going to be thinking about with architecture as well. And when they design anything future, how do we make sure that we are still bringing our gamers along the ride with us as we transition into the future? And that's a really big, important thing that they're conscious of. And for me as a gamer, hearing that is something that it is the focus is something that I am happy to hear about. And it does put a little bit more trust and faith around where I've chosen to spend my money and where I continue to choose spend my money in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, feeling safe about your digital library is a big deal. And Xbox players got used to this and they got comfortable with this and just assumed that this was never going away. And it sounds like it's not going to. Like I know we've been on the podcast, we've talked to people like Hargeet, and we know like they were able to pull this off Xbox. Basically, this is like an emulator, your backwards compatibility. So I assume that was never going to go away in the future too. When the hardware gets better, it's easy to emulate older hardware and to be able to run those games even possibly boosted. So I think it sounds like they're reaffirming that they are putting their foot down and that is not going away, which is fantastic and hopefully makes a lot of people
we believe in generations crap
more comfortable. Honestly,
that was the dumbest line ever. We believe in generations.
They just like Microsoft, Sony stepped on plenty of brakes.
Generation for your game. Yep.
There was a lot of shit said in the last 4 years, Panda, that was not true. But it is what it is. But while I get you here, David, because she was kind of talking about the leap forward and the next Xbox being the biggest technological leap that we've seen. What does that mean to you? Do you think do you think the handheld is real? Do you think it's going to be an AI, some doing AI boosting or something for the system? What do you think the new hardware, or what would you like it to be even?
Here's the thing. I don't want us to continue to try to chase this, 4K thing, right? Make the games look great, make them run great, right? I think this next generation, because I remember this generation, we were told, 60 FPS. That was all the talk, right? Next generation, next generation has to be that. I'm sorry, I love a great looking game just like the next one, but 4K and trying to have it's all overblown, right? Most people still don't even have 4K televisions. People are gaming on monitors that don't do 4K. Even the monitor I use now is 1440p, right?
Yep.
I don't care about none of that. Give me 60 frames per second, right? And as far as that handheld goes, as long as I can take my Xbox library with me, I'm a happy man. Yes, I can play on my phone with a controller. You can use a backbone, yada yada yada. But a dedicated handheld, right? Especially if you're also hearing that, hey, if this Steam and Epic stuff is true, we're going to have an all-in-one encompass handheld, right? If I can take my Xbox, and not just streaming, right? I'm taking my library with me. I can download games to it. When I hear next generation, biggest, leap or whatever, you better be telling me, hey, the 60 FPS really is the standard now, right? We're gone on 30 FPS game. And I get one of the cinematic stuff, and we'll talk about Hellblade later, I'm sure. I get that, right? But give me something that's 60 FPS all the time, and I'm happy, right? I don't care about, oh man, this game is 4K. Play the next, like PS5 has fucking 8K on the box for no reason. It's an 8K game and no one's playing it. I don't care about 8K. I don't want to hear 4K. I don't want to hear 8K. I want consistent, solid, steady frames per second on
100%.
great looking games that are fun games, and you want to hear a peep out of me.
I love that. I would take 1440p. I love that you're like, I'm sick and tired of hearing 4K. I would take 1440p 60 all day long, every day, every time, to the end of time.
It's the option, right?
That's what I want. I want the option. Yeah.
Don't try and tell me how I want a game. Like, don't go, here's all you get offered. So take it or leave it and like it. But give me an option to choose that.
Right.
I can either go for the pretty graphics, or I can go for the frames. I guess the biggest thing for me around anything next gen or current gen is really about the immersion piece around the AI for NPCs, the graphical fidelity around the physics, and just making the game feel lived in and real, so I can get lost in it. That's what it is. And yes, pretty pixels do sometimes help.
That's nice.
That's not what I'm going to be focusing on when I'm playing a game. I want to get lost in the story. I want to get lost in everything else, the environment, and I also would like to do it without feeling motion sick half the time. So give me 60 FPS.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Some games can do a good 30, though.
Some games can do an okay 30, but like I think Fonz put out a tweet that something along the lines of people aren't saying they're not going to play 30 FPS games. They're just saying they prefer the 60, and that basically we should have it. And I agree with Fonz. Like we should have that. Every time I hear about 30 FPS, am I disappointed? Yes. Is my game of the year right now 30 FPS on console? Yep. It is. And I'm telling you right now. Well, no, I'm on Steam, and I can tell you right now, it doesn't run much better than 30. I can tell you that. I got a 4070, which is a pretty damn good GPU, and I got a pretty damn good CPU, and that is not optimized, and it is choking. I get like 47 frames when I'm lucky. It's all over the place. But it's a great game. A great game is a great game. But to David's point, that next gen, Jesus, it better be 60, dude. If it is not hitting 60 for everything, I don't care. Use your up-res technology. Go from 1440 or 1080p and up-res it to 4K. Trick us. 99% of people won't even know the difference.
I don't care if I have lowered feet. Like, I don't care about the visual side of it. Just give me 60. That's the bare minimum that I want. But you got the casuals in the gaming community who don't care about frame rate at all. They don't care.
This is a hardcore debate. You're right.
And so,
this is a hardcore gamers debate, not a casual. They don't give a shit. I don't think they do. You know, I don't even think they even know.
They don't.
You know?
They want it to look pretty, and that's the casual gamer makes up the majority of gamers, right? We're very small subsection. So at the end of the day, Microsoft and PlayStation, they're going to cater to.
They're not listening to us.
I want to play Fortnite. Oh, they don't care about none of that. They want the game to look pretty so they can play Fortnite. They're the casual gamers.
Halo at 120. I don't care. Like it's 120 or nothing for me, mate.
Dude, that's why.
I can't play below 120 on that game.
On the series, like he mentioned, like David just mentioned, Fortnite. It's fucking 4K 120. I don't know if it's probably up-res, but it's 120 frames on a Series X right now. If you have the right television for it, it's fucking. And I'm getting the same frame rate on my PC that is way more powerful. I'm just saying. So that's. Oh, and it's so nice. And I'll tell you right now, when I don't have it, and sometimes my system screws up and for some reason locks onto 30, I instantly fucking know. And I can prove it. I actually have this. It happened to me live. And I said, something's wrong with my game. I said, something's really fucking wrong. I went back in. It was locked at 30. So those who say you can't notice, bullshit. You can notice. Yeah. You can definitely tell the difference. Yeah. Maybe the casuals can't, but us guys who are paying attention, play a lot of shooters, we know.
I think you and I with ADHD, they're like, the fact that something can just immediately distract you enough to be like, I can't do anything until I fix it.
I couldn't do it. I would not play it. I absolutely, Panda. I would not move on. I'm like, it is so bad. I like wins. I like getting kills too. So I was like, I'm not going to get as many kills.
You're like, I can't focus on anything else other than this now. It's the biggest distraction. Like you just can't.
It was. Yeah, I couldn't get past it. That's a me problem. That's obviously not. That's a me problem. The general public probably doesn't give a shit. But speaking of AI, since we were kind of talking about the AI hardware side of things, this is kind of funny. I feel a certain way about this. I think a lot of people are going to care way more about this than I will, but we'll bring it up. This is from The Verge. So Microsoft is working on an Xbox AI chatbot. This cute little guy.
It's called Xbot, right?
Oh God! It fucking writes itself. God damn you, Panda! You just gave him fucking ammo. Oh, they're gonna clip that. X-Vault is gonna clip that. We're gonna be on another one of his shows. God damn you, Panda. Yeah, it writes itself. So Xbox employees have been testing a virtual chatbot that can help with support queries and game refunds. So Microsoft is currently testing a new AI-powered Xbox chatbot that can be used to automate support tasks. Sources familiar with Microsoft's plans tell The Verge that the software giant has been testing an embodied AI character that animates when responding to Xbox support queries. So like Clippy 2.0, I guess.
That's what I was going bring it back Clippy.
Bring it back, I used to love Clippy. I thought it was awesome.
The dog and the cat, but Clippy was the best.
The dog, that's right. I forgot about the dog. He says, I understand that Xbox AI chatbot is part of a larger effort inside Microsoft to apply AI to its Xbox platform and its services. The Xbox AI chatbot is connected to Microsoft support documents for the Xbox network and ecosystem, and can respond to questions and even process game refunds from Microsoft's support website. This agent can help you with your Xbox support questions, reads a description of the Xbox chat internally at Microsoft. All right, so anytime there's anything AI related, people are like, people get in their feelings, and I get it. I could not be the exact opposite. I use Alexa, I can't say it because I use her every day. And I don't give a shit who is reading my stuff. I got nothing to hide, besides the fact that I use a VPN and I steal shit. But outside of that, like, I just don't care. Like, I don't care if it helps my day-to-day life and it makes my life slightly easier, have all my information. I don't care. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that.
Alexa's going to report you, RHETRI, honestly.
She is. She's like, he's using a VPN.
She's been storing up as much evidence as she can, and she's just give the whole book and just throw it at you.
Which could be true. I could be kicking myself right now. But David, I don't know. What do you think about this AI chat bot? And, it's helping with refunds. It's going to help, people, maybe as like I don't know if it's going to be step one. I don't know if they're going to have live people anymore and you go to the chat bot first. And when the chat bot is stupid and can't get what you need done, then maybe it'll push you to a person. I don't know. But what do you think about this whole AI helper, I guess?
Listen, all you got to do is bring back the Kinect, and I'm one step closer to being Tony Stark. That's all I care about. Honestly, I'm cool with it. I got no issue with it. If it makes my life easier, seamless, that's fine. As long as when I say customer service, you get me to a person, and I say, well, I want to help you out first, Fame. Fuck no. Real person, please. Give me a real person, I'm happy.
Representative going, I'll be back on the other end. Like,
oh, shit.
Representative. That's the damn. As long as I can do that, we're fine. Make my life easy. I'm cool with AI.
Choose the voice of your chatbot you're talking to.
Oh, I want Morgan Freeman.
I want that. Oh, hell yeah. No, they had them on Amazon. You remember that shit?
Yeah.
You can choose them. I was like, hell yeah. And they're like $4. I'm like, God damn it. I'm paying it.
You have to.
You have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm with it. Morgan, refund this game is trash. And like, come on now. That'd be freaking awesome.
I'll do you a solid. Yeah. That was terrible. I used to have a thing that actually sounded just like Morgan Freeman. I should have hooked it up on this because I actually have a voice changer that does that, but it is not hooked up right now. So David, all right. I was wondering, like, if you're one of those people who are like, nah, like I don't trust the government. Like, I don't trust them either.
Guys, they're taking our jobs.
The same people who are scared of that are also looking directly into their phones as their camera is looking at them. Trust, like, come on, bro. Like, you're looking into a camera saying you don't trust the Kinect. Like, at the end of the day, someone said about keeping workers. I don't want people. My love for AI is that it is a tool for people.
Yes.
If people lose their jobs, I'm out. Right? As long as this, we're talking developing games, anything with AI. If it's a tool for people, I'm with it. Make my life easier. But if it's taking jobs, I'm out.
It's like machines around, like how people use them to make their days and lives easier. You are using that tool, and it's the same with AI. We're just in a different technological environment now, and this is the next step, and this is where it's at. And you will have to learn to evolve and work in that. But the idea behind it is take this here, use AI for menial jobs, things that aren't big, and then have people work on the more complex situations that people are dealing with when you run into technical difficulties or refund issues, other things like that. There is going to be a point where an AI needs to be taken over by a human to really finish that off. But again, it means that then it means it means that they can deal with the more lower risk things,
right?
And then other people can focus on the more heavy duty, like more involved things. And I think that's really important. Is how do we make these tasks that people don't like doing because they're just menial, and why don't we give them something more complex and they can focus on other things that we really want to focus on around creativity or improving the customer experience, etc., etc. Instead of all of our energy going into this one thing, why don't we push that off to someone else, and then we have a whole wider gambit of things we can focus on ourselves. And that's where AI is going to come hand in hand around improving what we do as humans in general, in my opinion. Yeah. And then we get Skynet.
And then we all asked for it. We didn't care, and this whole panel gets fried. Because Skynet. Skynet approves. Skynet approves of this
think
message
for itself at this point. So it's not. It's
well,
really
it's not
relying on
Panda.
humans.
It's not going to tell you that. It's not going to be like, hey, I can now think for myself. I'm going to fucking kill you.
It's like Edie, where it's like Edie's pretending to be a VI in Mass Effect, even though she's an unchained AI.
I'm like, I don't believe you, AI. For me, it's obviously it's not a big deal. I think, like, to Panda's point, if it's just like the kind of like the easiest stuff, the lowest, fruit on the tree, and then goes to a real person, then I'm okay with it. That's what I'm hoping that this is. It's cool that you get, it does the refund thing. Be interested to see how. I might just test it, just buy something, just to see how that works. But to David's point,
in a way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think other companies are already using this sort of thing anyways, it feels like. So, because I'm always like, representative, why the fuck am I still talking to this bot?
To David's point.
I don't remember where I was going. I totally lost it. This is why I need AI for help. No, you're good. But anyways, if you guys want to play games with us, we've been playing a lot of Fortnite. That's usually my problem. You can join the Discord group right here. It's called Community Game Nights. If you want to join us, we'll also be playing Halo soon and back into COD. There's the theme. This is called Aim Down at Sights. And yes, I just mentioned 3 different shooters because we play a lot of those. But
we actually need to sit down and do a Halo game night.
I've been talking it up forever.
I can only play a couple of games, and then I'm like, I need that dogma.
That's the problem, Panda.
She got that dog in her, man.
She got that dog in her. Oh, damn. Yeah, some DMX up in here. I mean, Power World, and then this game, I'm like, shit. Like, that's shooters are dangerous too, man. You like start playing them, and then you kind of get stuck and playing them for a while. I remember Gaz talking about that too. I remember him mentioning, like, when I start playing like multiplayer games, I get stuck and I don't play anything else. And that's where multiplayer games are a little dangerous for someone like me, because I'll get like stuck in them and shit like that. But what's up, FarQ? Yes, Halo Night, sign me up. Yeah, we will definitely. I know I've been talking about it. I'll talk to Panda about it. She's the queen of Halo. We'll talk to Peter about it. We'll get everyone involved like we did last time. We had a ton of fun when we played.
Fuck you, we'll be on the same team so that
so you won't get slapped, as you like to call
it. Slapped, yeah.
I love that. All right, the next thing we do have to mention, and it's funny that David was talking earlier about like game preservation and how a lot of us play old games, because now we actually know that's a fact and it's true for 2023 at least. So Xbox and PlayStation's most played games in 2023 were averaging 7 years old, almost 10 years old for PC. So on this list, this is Xbox's list, and I will go back and I will tell you the ones for PC and PlayStation as well. But Xbox, number 1, not surprising, my game, Fortnite was number 1. Most played. So some of these are really old games. They average about 7.2 years old. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, 3, and Warzone 2.0. Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 3 was Grand Theft Auto 5. God damn, that game will not die when that next one comes out. Holy shit, watch out. Number 4, Minecraft. Then Roblox, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. That one actually surprised me. Rocket League, number 7. Starfield, number 8. Oh, beautiful. The only, by the way, single player game in all of these lists. Apex Legends and FIFA 2023. That was the Xbox list. Let me go over here and take a look at the other list. So PlayStation, Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, EA Sports, FC24, Roblox, Rocket League, Minecraft, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, Apex Legends, and Fall Guys. Jesus, are those two lists almost identical? Obviously, Starfield being kind of the outlier there, and Fall Guys on PlayStation. But what do you guys think of this? A lot of these kind of like service type games. A lot of these like have MTX and have been around for a long time. Why aren't we seeing like stuff on, like a lot of people are saying, where's Spider-Man for PlayStation? Where are these first party games on the PlayStation list? I'm sure, there's one thing for them to sell well enough, but the people clearly aren't sticking around to play them. But David, what do you make of this list?
Casuals make up majority of the gamers. And what do casuals play? Fortnite, Call of Duty, 2K, Madden. They make up the majority of the gamers. So this isn't surprising at all that games as a service game. Yep. There is a reason. Even though things might have shifted, there's a reason why PlayStation tried to make 12 live services.
Yes, you're seeing it.
There is a reason, because you make a game, and if it hits, we're talking about a Fortnite or Rocket League, and it hits, you can monetize that game for the next 15 years.
Right.
You can monetize for the next 15, and
GTA
Online, and that is
just
more profitable. That's more profitable than the biggest superhero IP Spider-Man can give you. You give me one game that I can continue to monetize over and over and over again. It's more value. It's the reason why Sony's doing that. It's the reason why Microsoft didn't let a game like Sea of Thieves go away, right? Because they could continue to monetize it. This isn't surprising whatsoever. This is to be expected moving forward, because yes, the Starfields and the Spider-Man, the single player experiences should never go away, and they are great. But gaming is going to be defined by the games as a service games, right? People want to play online, they want to play with their friends, they want to play over and over again and build. If you can hone in on stuff like Rick and Morty, Avatar: The Last Airbender in your games, you're going to continue to attract their new gamers. This isn't surprising, not even the least bit.
Not even the least bit. Yeah. It really confirms a lot of stuff that I've been saying for a while, but I felt it, but I wasn't really 100% sure. And I love seeing shit like this, but like, holy crap, this is a reality in the game industry. And I agree with you, David. Like, that's why I think Sony was just taking everything and just throwing shit against the wall and seeing what stuck. And a lot of it, I guess they feel isn't good enough to continue working on. They've canceled like 6 of these gas games, but there's still some that have, made it through the gauntlet, I guess, of Bungie and Sony SIE. So it'll be interesting to see if any of those games hit, but you really only need one, right? Because if they're lasting this damn long and you're making money off of them for that many years, you just kind of need that one hit. But Panda, what's your whole take on this list? Does this surprise you, or does this feel kind of like par for the course for you?
Honestly, it's the same every year. It's not surprising. I guess the biggest upset and surprise is Starfield being on there.
I'm not gonna lie, that shocked me.
In sense of being told that it was a flop, it was a trash game, no one's gonna play it, etc., etc. But you saw how well it did around. And the amount of people playing that game day one, the amount of people who bought that game, just the early access to that game to play it earlier than when it released day one on Game Pass. So I think this was the biggest surprise on that list, that Starfield was on there. But that was a juggernaut. It had so many people playing it, so many hours people playing it.
Even the people who hated it put in hundreds of hours, Panda. Hated it. I do not
recommend
you.
200 hours of gameplay. And I was like,
who does that?
Well, what? Like, why would you play 200 hours of a game that you do not recommend? Like, I'm at 128 hours on freaking Dragon's Dogma. I highly recommend that game. Like,
exactly.
I would have not put any amount of time or effort into Dragon's Dogma if I didn't recommend it. So, honestly, it's insane. Not surprised here. Obviously, difference around the ordering on PlayStation versus Xbox, but they're all the same games. They are virtually like for like, mirror. And it's those games where you don't necessarily have to spend a lot of time like focusing and going and getting collectibles and things like that. You can just kind of spend some time with some friends and enjoy yourself and really experience these games together and build a community and come together as a community. And that's what these games are. Yes, these companies are like, how can we make money off this? How can we keep it going? But it wouldn't exist if there wasn't a community behind it of people who actually enjoyed playing these games together and enjoyed the gameplay loop that these games offered. So kudos. Just congrats to Starfield being on there. Biggest upset ever. It wasn't going to be anything on the PlayStation first party single player games that were going to end up on that list. There never usually is. I think mainly
I gotta be honest with you. I was a little surprised. Like something was like 8, 9, or 10. Like I thought something after all the shit that has been talked about, all those games like just being
they
so
talk shit,
so
and that's
great.
all it is. It is. They don't. There's no evidence to support the shit that
It's
they
crazy
talk.
to me.
They don't. They don't do it, and it's the casuals are the ones that are on their platform with the millions of copies or millions of PS4 sold last gen, etc.
And they're all playing Fortnite,
playing these games. Yeah, it's why like Horizon for Forbidden West didn't sell as well as it should have, because again, casuals are busy playing these games. They're not the hardcore who are going to support the devs and go and support the first party studios in the same way that people who have the brand affinity do.
Yeah. Speaking of Horizon Forbidden West, and we also showed that on this podcast too on Steam. It was number fucking 58 when it came out, before and after, and I was like, wow. I never would have expected that, and that's why we say day and date means something. You lose that hype for a game. That's why PlayStation needs to do that sort of thing. You're good. It's crazy. But let's get into the Hellblade talk. Hopefully we won't lose you, Def Leppard, if you're still here. I know you don't want to hear more about the 30 frame per second thing, but we gotta talk about this, man.
Is he upset the fact that people are complaining about it? Like,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think he's probably, we're at the end of the week. There's already been a bunch of podcasts, so I'm sure a bunch of people have already talked about it. So maybe he's feeling like
FPS
it's
fatigue.
Yeah, there might be some fatigue there, and I get that, but it's part of the news cycle. So sorry. Hellblade 2 runs at 30 FPS on Xbox Series X and S, and won't feature a performance mode. And that's, I think, my problem. Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga frame rate has now been revealed, with Ninja Theory confirming that Hellblade 2 will run at 30 FPS on Xbox consoles. It's another one, right? It's just another damn game that is at 30 FPS. Sure, the fidelity it looks great. Like the game looks amazing. Look, even amazing enough where Insomniac and SIE themselves are looking over to the other side and going, "That's what Wolverine needs to look like." So we know it's top tier. We know it's top notch, coming from devs that can make it happen with. When you got Insomniac, that work on games with 1,000 other people, and then you have these little guys with a studio of 20 that is now 80, only 80 people that made this visual spectacle. I think that's saying something. I think that's also good on Xbox to have such a small studio, because a game like this will cost less money. Right? You look at Sony with their $300 million budgets on all these games and why they need to probably stop doing that shit. And then you got someone like Ninja Theory over here with 80 people making a game that looks just good. But let's get on the frame subject, David. I guess you can rehash what you said earlier. What's your take on Hellblade being 30 FPS, brother?
Here, check me out. Back in 2017,
Hellblade
Senua's Saga came out for the PS4. Right before it came out, I watched all the Death Diaries. I was super excited for the game. It came out on PS4, beat it on PS4, my game of the year, right? And then it released on Xbox, right? And on Xbox Game Pass, I played it again, beat it again, and then they said, "Hey, we got physical copies." I bought a physical copy, never opened it, right? Never opened it. Yeah. I don't give a rat's ass about it being 30 frames per second. I've been waiting since 2017 to explore a sequel to this masterpiece. I don't give a rat's ass if it was 24 frames per second. The game is going. I'm biased. I don't care. Okay, I don't care. I'm biased. It's going to be. I said it in 2018 when the sequel came out. I don't give a shit if Grand Theft Auto 6 also released the same year. This is the game of the year. I could care less. It looks great. It's going to play great. It's going to capitalize on the things that make this game so freaking awesome. Now, the one thing I'm hoping it doesn't have is so many freaking puzzles. Because there were too many puzzles here.
Thank you, David.
Too many freaking puzzles.
That's my issue.
I'm hoping now with the money backing they have with Microsoft, because I understand what they did back then, because they were Ninja Theory relatively was a small studio. We know they had money issues, but they wanted to give you a AAA experience with a AA budget or with an indie budget. That's what happened. You got Microsoft's budget now, give us less puzzles, but from what I've seen in that gameplay, I could care less if it's 30 frames per second or not. This will be played day one, hopefully day zero if we get this review copy. I don't care. And this is not towards you. This is toward anybody who's 30 frames. I don't care. Because what Panda said it earlier. Give me a fantastic game with a great story, and I'm not gonna notice the frame difference if I am sucked into the game. And what this game does with the headphones on, it sucks you in. And Senua is one of the greatest characters ever made in the last generation. It's going to be fire. And yes, that's my bias, Sean.
I mean, it's not a bias. It's the fact that you love the game. Like, I'm 100% behind you on that. Like, absolutely agree with you around the game. The first game was fantastic. It deserved the love that it got. And I'm so freaking pissed off with the amount of PlayStation gamers who trash talked Xbox gamers when Hellblade 1 wasn't on their platform and it was an exclusive to PlayStation. So they all played it at 30 FPS. So those motherfuckers who are now complaining about this game being at 30 FPS, you know they'll be playing it if it's on the PS5. Those people
100%.
are frustrating. They're disingenuous, hypocritical assholes.
They're playing Dragon Dogma right now, right?
They didn't talk about Dragon's Dogma 30 FPS. Yeah. They were just,
nothing. Silent.
If you want to complain about it, complain about it. I'm disappointed there's no 60 FPS. I struggle playing 30 FPS games now. Some games do it really well. Dragon's Dogma does it really well. I think Forza Horizon does 30 FPS really well. Cyberpunk does not do 30 FPS well at all. No, honestly, I can't adjust it to 30. That game makes me feel so sick. So I can't. There are games that I can't play 30. I did not play Redfall until the 60 FPS patch came out because it's a first-person shooting game. You want the frames. This is not that game. This is a massive experience around the cinematics. If you look at the trailer, I was blown away. If you expected 60 for that level of fidelity, the only way you're going to get 60 is if they pulled it back and offered a performance mode. This running at 30 on a Series X looking like that fucking blows my mind. This game is going to be like chef's kiss around people who love looking at visuals, who get off looking at visuals. This is that game for you. It's the best looking game ever to release, in my opinion, which will be. And I can't wait to see the version on PC, because I just want to see what it looks like when you have it on a 4090. I just want to see it. Like, the lighting, the way they've done all the frame. I can't even. It's a cinematic masterpiece in a video game. You have all the games that people used to talk about and cap about last gen on the PS4 that were all capped at 30 FPS, but you told us that these were amazing, and suddenly you now don't like cinematic games? Where the hell are you guys?
That's their bread and butter. They're making fun of their bread and butter right now. Like, just it makes
no sense.
That's why we know you're full of shit.
Did y'all see Gaming Boat's preview? And they was talking about this game is going to be so good, a Game of the Year contender. It should be on every platform. Everyone should be able to experience this. Where was this? Where was this with God of War and Spider-Man? Right? If it's a masterpiece, if it should be Game of the Year, it should be on every platform. Now that Xbox has that Game of the Year cinematic experience, it should be on every platform. It's bullshit, man.
And David, they said it multiple times too. I didn't see that till Ham Solo made a video basically making fun of this, and they said it multiple times doing it. I was like, dude, come on, are you serious? We would not get the same treatment for a God of War. Absolutely. There's nobody fucking making videos out there that's a journalist that says God of War should be on Xbox. Why isn't it on Xbox? And that's why we say the Xbox tax is real. because it fucking is. You don't have to believe it. I don't care. But they prove it to us over and over and over again. Fuck Gaming Bowl. Anyways, I'm glad you brought that up, David. But yeah, 30. Go ahead, Panda. Keep cooking.
I was just I feel bad. I was just gonna add.
You're good.
Feel bad for talking so much.
No, you're good.
Now I've forgotten what I was gonna add. Damn ADHD.
Yeah, see, I always get you.
Gets you every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you go while I try and remember.
Okay. For me, like we said earlier in the show, of course I want 60 FPS. Who wouldn't want double the frame rate, right? It feels smoother when that happens. But again, a lot of people want that cinematic experience, and that's what we're getting in this game. And that's what I don't know who thought this was going to be any different. I think that's where the frustrations, come from. It almost feels like, did you play Hellblade 1? Did you play Hellblade 1? You should have kind of expected maybe something like this. There shouldn't be any outrage, in my opinion, over Hellblade 2 being 30 frames per second. Do we love it? No. Would we rather have 60? Of course. We always want more frames, but it is what it is. I think it's going to play fine. I got all faith in Ninja Theory, and to what David said earlier. Please God, because this team, I don't know if anyone is better than this at this one thing. Please God, use some good headphones with this fucking game.
Oh yeah.
Because the audio is on a whole new level. If you saw some of the behind the scenes shit that these guys, they went to Iceland just to record in caves and shit. This audio is going to be fucking insane. Wait for it.
You listen to the dev diaries and talking about the combat with this game and how the original game they were in that small meeting room and she couldn't lift the sword too high or else it would hit the roof.
Right.
And they did 2 days of in the combat for the first game, which is what max. It wouldn't have been about 48 hours, 80 hours of combat gameplay in this, where they could actually do proper combat sequences. They did training so she was more confident with weapons and it felt more realistic. And the fact that they're complaining about the one-on-one with the gameplay around the fight scenes, you just look at that and they're talking about how it's visceral it is around. You can feel the weight of the sword and the fact that she's getting more tired the longer she's in combat. And I'm like, that is immersion. Yes, they talk about the Battle of the Bastards around, that's where they got that idea of one-on-one. And I'm like, fair enough. And you're going to have her psychosis mixed in with this. And it's going to make this an absolute masterpiece for people who want to experience that type of game. And then it's going to be a shorter experience. We've been talking about this for weeks about how we like shorter experiences. They're great palate cleansers. Sometimes you don't want to be spending hundreds of hours in a game, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and never finish it.
Yep, guilty.
It took me 2 years to finish the story in that game. Two fucking years.
That's why when I heard the length of this, I was like, oh, thank you, baby Jesus.
Thank you. I'm spending a lot of time in Dragon's Dogma. I don't want to spend another 120 hours in another game like this.
Not
I would
every
like
game.
A nice palette cleanse and have a shorter, tailored experience, more linear around that. And this is one of these games where I can't wait. The moment they showed the in-engine footage at the Game Awards for the announcement of this game in 2019, draw drop moment, everyone was like, holy shit. And even PlayStation gamers was like, oh my gosh. They're so jealous that they're not willing to admit that they want this game, other than they want it for the PS5 Pro. There's no PS5 Pro version of this. Even if they had a PS5 Pro, it's the same CPU. It wouldn't be running at 60, so you can shut your mouths. You don't know shit about technology.
It's like they just can't be truthful with themselves. I'll sit here on this show and I've said, I'm interested in Stellar Blade. I am interested in Helldivers. I played Helldivers. I think it's a great fucking game.
It is a great game.
It's like they just can't say anything is good on the other side. And if you're listening to someone like that, you should not fucking listen to them, and you can't trust them because they're lying. They're full of shit. If you listen to a podcaster that will only even Xbox guys, I'll say it on this. If you listen listen to an Xbox podcast and all they fucking say is good shit about Xbox and only 100% of the time say bad shit about PlayStation, they're full of shit, bro. Sorry, not sorry. That's just the way it is. So don't trust these fucking PlayStation podcasters. Most of them aren't good. And if you want a good one, DM me. I'll send you to the guys who are not full of shit, because there's not a lot of them out there, in my opinion. They're just not truthful. It's just the way it is. Because it doesn't get them the clicks. It doesn't get them favor. Just like if I talk positive about PlayStation on this podcast, I'll have people without a doubt DMing me, talking shit to me. Go fuck yourself. I don't care. It is what it is. I'm going to be truthful. I'm going to be me. But I think Hellblade being at 30 is not that big of a deal. We've played plenty of games at 30 FPS. So
if this game was on PlayStation only, I would be like, fuck, I need to get me a PlayStation.
Yeah.
This
Looking
is
at
how
those
impressive
visuals,
those
dude.
visuals are. With
They
Halo
are
5.
so fucking impressive.
She talks about not having to overact because of how good the system is for picking up the facial animations.
Right.
So in the last one, she did have to tend to do a bit more overacting for it to pick it up. And this, she doesn't. And I'm like, this game.
Ninja Theory, man, they're technology experts. They are way ahead of their curve. This is a team you should absolutely be paying attention to. I'm so curious to see, outside of Project Mara, what else outside of like this, those types of games, because it's Project Mara is kind of similar to Hellblade in a way with her mental state. I want to see what else these guys could do.
We all remember the reaction that Ninja Theory got acquired by Xbox in 2017, 2016, whatever day it was, whichever year it was. And everyone was just like, holy shit. PlayStation gamers were pissed off. I was like, what the fuck? I couldn't believe it myself. That was this drop the mic moment when they said that. And I was like, hell yes! I'm so excited. It's such a good studio. And
underrated,
can't deny that they are such a good studio.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's some disingenuous people out there. I appreciate the Xbox mic, Oxford mic. It is what it is. You're gonna follow who you're gonna follow, and you're gonna believe who you're gonna believe. You drink that Kool-Aid, that's on you. Anyways, move on to the next subject. All hail Hellblade. It's going to be great. We're finally starting to get some first-party games coming out from Xbox. And the rest of the year from Hellblade on is going to be an onslaught of games. We got a lot of good games coming this year from first-party studios from Xbox.
Second-party deals as well. We got so
second-party deals. Absolutely. Absolutely. We they're definitely making deals. And it sounds like they're doubling down on Game Pass too. Like from all the articles we've read recently that just dropped too, it sounds like Game Pass is still a big deal to them, as it should be. So that's not going anywhere. So kudos to those guys for keeping the faith and keeping anyone who's questioning Game Pass. I don't think you should anymore. The next subject is this is, again, I might get hate for this, but whatever. KOTOR remake is alive and well, apparently, promises the Saber CEO. This is a game that meant a lot to me. It did hurt a little bit to realize that this was going to be, at the time when it came out, a PlayStation exclusive, whether that was timed or not, because I was like, Xbox, how'd you let that one slide? Saber Interactive, Saber is a very talented studio, in my opinion. But apparently, the remake of Star Wars KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, for you guys that don't know, is alive and well. That's a promise made to the countless fans of the game by Saber Interactive CEO Matthew Karch. He was speaking to IGN when he said this. The executive also said the studio is dedicated to making sure consumer expectations are exceeded, which likely hints at several years of development still needed. So we are not going to see this game anytime soon, like a lot of people originally thought. Indeed, Embracer Group CEO Lars recently admitted the game needed more than a year of production. So I don't know if this moves a needle for anybody. KOTOR definitely has a very special place in my memory, in my heart. David, do you care about KOTOR? Do you care about this still being alive? Does it mean anything to you? Or?
I think if you are someone who plays on Xbox, you should be excited now. This was a massive title for Xbox back in the day, and like you said, when we heard about the remake, possibly being a thing, people automatically assume, well, it was the original, was on Xbox, it's been Xbox as well. And here was the PlayStation exclusive, heard a lot, and then you hear Jeff Grubb say, hey, Sony wants nothing to do with it anymore.
Yes, thank you
if
for
you
bringing
on
that up,
Xbox,
David.
be prepared to play this game, right? It's almost guaranteed now to come. If it's coming to console, it's coming to Xbox. Now, it could turn around, it might just be a PC thing, right? You never know. But if it's coming to console, you can almost bet your ass it's coming to Xbox. So as an Xbox gamer, you can be excited because you went from not having access to this game to now it's a good chance you're having access to this game. So I think you should be excited.
Very good points, David. And if Jeff Grubb got it wrong, you'd be mad at him, not me and David.
Oh, for sure.
100% this game was dead in the water. Yeah.
I did too. Like I just like it. Well, it seems like Sony. It's just it keeps pulling out of these projects. But this is Saber. Like Saber makes some really good games that I liked. World War Z. I really like that game. Evil Dead, the game. That's them. The upcoming Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2, which I think looks amazing. That's all Saber, guys. So. I think if they can pull this off, it could be a really good game. I'm curious to see if it's like the old KOTOR, but I don't know. I'm excited. Panda, were you a KOTOR fan? I always say that wrong.
I'm a Star Wars fan. I have never played KOTOR, to be honest. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take that Star Wars nerd card back from you. But that's
because I wasn't really when this game came out, I wasn't really allowed to game on anything other than a Nintendo. So yeah.
Thanks for making me feel old. That's a good point. I didn't think of that.
Hey, that's a good point. I was still living at home, and my parents had all the money and controlled everything, and where we used to play video games, and I didn't have freedom to choose where I got to play this. I mean, I could play it now, but I don't think I don't know
if it would hold up.
I don't know if it would hold up.
I almost don't want you to play it. I almost want you to wait till the new one comes out because I'm not sure. And then we can talk
about. You can do a comparison, and I can talk about my thoughts. Yeah. And then I'm not sort of influenced by the last game and have that. Yeah, that's where I'm kind of coming from around there. I'm excited that the thought that this is still a thing. And I'm excited that it's with Saber Interactive. I think they're a great studio.
Great studio, man.
I'm also excited at the thoughts that there is a chance that PlayStation is not publishing this, and I think that was the biggest thing. It was a big kick in the pants or kick in the teeth, essentially, when we found out that they were publishing it. It was looking like it was going to be an exclusive, because it made its debut on Xbox, right? It was on Xbox back then, and
it was huge.
So
it was huge. That was a big deal.
For it to not potentially be coming to Xbox was going to be a big gut punch to us as a community. I mean, I didn't play the first one, but I was like, it was on the original, kind of around that. For that's where it sort of created its fan base all those years ago. And Star Wars as an IP itself needs to be everywhere.
I agree.
So it makes sense that it ends up everywhere. And that's the thing here is I really hope it does come to Xbox and ends up everywhere, and then it just continues to evolve. Because KOTOR deserves as much, from my understanding around the love people have for the original game, that it deserves as much fanfare and as much eyes on it as possible. And it doesn't deserve to be sort of cut off from the rest of its community.
Yeah, gated away. Yeah, absolutely. Nero, I'll run some World War Z with you, brother. I think it's a fantastic game, and it's in Game Pass. But yeah, he said, Big Matt Mo says, one of my favorite games of all time. Yeah, that's because you get good taste, Mo. Yeah, it is. It just I don't know.
Right?
It was at the right time. I believe so. I think the original was BioWare. I can't remember. I think someone else
did KOTOR, and then
second one was different, I think.
And then all of this. Yeah, so I feel like BioWare.
Yeah.
Best.
Yeah, BioWare.
Good. Yeah. Absolutely.
Good memory.
Yeah, the good that was a good memory. Those were BioWare was they were kicking some ass back in the day. Baron, what's going on, brother? Says, let's go.
Oh, it's my level 1 game in Compadre. What's going on, B?
Yes. I saw that. Yeah. Wasn't he just on a podcast too with somebody else?
108. He was on 108.
He was with 108.
Podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was one of the people I knew. I was like, I feel like he was somewhere else. Good for you, man. 108's a good guy. I love that dude. Next up, we don't have too much time left with David too. And I unfortunately, I have to kind of not make this too long of a podcast because I have to go on another podcast too on PTK Blams. I promised him I would join them.
PTK Blam, let's go.
He's good people too. Yeah,
I've got to get out. Like I've got to go somewhere too. So
and she's got things to actually do.
Yeah, got things to do.
It's Sunday afternoon here.
I know what you're doing.
I got shit to do.
Yeah, DD2. That's what you're doing. Yeah,
got the dog in her.
Exactly. The Witcher 4 won't just retread the last game, apparently. They're adding new features and mechanics. So this was a story I took from WCCF Tech. So during the CD Projekt Red's annual earnings call, The Witcher 4, codenamed Polaris, came up several times, albeit as no surprise. The new joint CEO said that they expect Witcher 4 to go beyond simply retreading the massive success of the third installment, thanks to the addition of new gameplay features and mechanics. When it comes, he says, when it comes, I think so. I don't actually know. Is this a UE5 game?
It has to be.
I
feel like you might be right.
CD Projekt Red completely moving away from the Red engine and moving to.
Let's see if I'm trying to see if I can scan it if it's in the story anywhere here. And if anyone in chat knows for sure,
UE5.
I'm not playing Dragon's Dogma 2. I gotta go drive to my sister's place. Sadly, if I could be playing Dragon's Dogma 2 after this, I would, but I can't.
But you can't. Yeah. Since when it comes, it is UE5. Okay, that makes sense. So I think, look, I know UE5 gets a lot of hate. But my opinion is when you have the right developer developing on it,
you get Hellblade 2.
You get shit like Hellblade 2.
Gear 6.
Gear 6.
Exactly. Yeah. You get a RoboCop. Just saying. Like you never know. It says when it comes to the risk of innovative elements, making a new game is always creative risk, especially since we're trying to push new boundaries and explore new fields. That's something we haven't actually done before. This is a pretty broad paintbrush stroke, he says, for sure, but I cannot go into too much detail without actually talking about the game per se. I guess what I'm saying is that you should not be expecting The Witcher 3 in new clothing of sorts. Of course, we're building on the shoulders of what came before and what we've learned, but we'll be adding new gameplay elements and new mechanics that you have not seen in our previous games. I'd say doing such things is always a risk. It's not just repeating what was done before.
Innovation,
baby. That's what we like to see. David,
fuck IGN.
hashtag fuck IGN. Hashtag fuck
the views expressed from Xbox ain't down sights.
We got some feelings about. I don't think Destin Legary. I don't think Ryan McCaffrey are coming on our podcast anytime soon.
I love Ryan, man. Ryan's good.
I think they're good people. You know, I'd send them the invite, but I think they would. I think my audience would fucking destroy them.
We're all wearing t-shirts that say.
Sometimes I feel bad for the over excessive hate that some of these guys get for their opinions. But David, the Witcher series, were you a fan of Witcher? Are you going to tell me you don't like Witcher just like you didn't like Fallout, or were you a Witcher fan? Or what?
Now, hear me out. Toss a coin to you. Listen, I didn't enjoy or didn't even look The Witcher. I didn't even look at it sideways until Witcher 3. Witcher 3 made me a fan of The Witcher. Of The Witcher, it made me watch the shows. It didn't make me go back and play the first two games. I just couldn't do it.
I didn't either.
But it made me excited for the next Witcher game, right? So it did that. It brought in someone new. So if they're going, if they're not retreading the game, they're going to a totally different. That's fine with me. Because one of the things about what The Witcher 3 was, because I didn't play the previous games, when it came to certain scenarios, I had to just make stuff up. to progress, because it wants you to use some of the decisions you made from the previous games, and I hadn't made those decisions.
Like
right?
there were no decisions, right?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know this guy, so fuck him.
Yeah.
So, I'm super excited for The Witcher 4, man. I really hope it's good.
Yeah. I'll let you go in a second. For me, I'm right there with David. My first entry into the Witcher series was 3. So yeah, it was weird. Like I had no slate to go to. And I didn't like The Witcher when I first played it. And I had too many people coming at me, be like, how? It's like, it was like one of their favorite games of all time. And I'm like, maybe it's a me problem. It's one of those games that I finally went back to because people, I think like Umbra and like Box and Burger were telling me like, it's good. You got to give it a chance. You just don't understand the mechanics. It kind of like Dragon's Dogma 2. I didn't understand it at the beginning. I'm like, am I going to like this? Once I learned those mechanics, like in Witcher 3, I ended up loving that game. So I'm happy to see that there's Witcher 4. I'm happy to see that there's innovations coming for the series. But Panda, what's your thoughts on this Witcher 4 news?
I am excited. I think that it's really important around innovation. You don't want to stagnate, and we don't want just a reskin of The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 was a fantastic game, a little bit long in the tooth for me. There was times
it was pretty long.
I was like, okay, I'm not going to go clear this and I'm not going to clear that anymore. I'm going to start streamlining the story and then maybe do some of the side content later. But to everyone's point around like The Witcher 1, you can't even play that game. It's so bad on PC. It's not even available on console. I'm so glad they're doing a remake of that. The Witcher 2, that was my first introduction to the series. I played a little bit of Witcher 1, but the combat on PC, I just couldn't. But Witcher 3 really got its teeth into me once I finally gave it like my 4th attempt at playing it. Like I started it and stop and get hooked on something else, and then I'd forget the gameplay or what the story was, so I'd have to start it again. So it was fantastic. And I look at what they did with Cyberpunk around the way that they thought of the different mission types and how there was so much variety, and you weren't really running into the same sort of rinse and repeat fetch quests and those sort of things in that game. And that's what I expect from The Witcher 4. I expect UE5, great. I expect that the engine is a little bit easier for them to do what they want to do with it, rather than the Red Engine, which we clearly ran into a lot of limitations with Cyberpunk, especially with optimization. And I mean, UE5 needs some work with optimization as well. But this is what I want to hear. And I hope it's not just PR talk and them going, hey, this is what we're wanting to push out versus what we really get at the end of the day.
Right.
I'm also hoping that it's not going to be a buggy mess, as I don't want another Cyberpunk environment. I mean, The Witcher 3 I waited. I didn't get that game day one.
Me either.
It did come out buggy, and they did patch it, and then it turned into this fantastic game. But for me, I just need variety and not a reskin, and that's really what I want to take. That's what I took away from this, and that's what I expect, and that's what annoys me about companies or publishers like Ubisoft, which just reskin Assassin's Creed and don't innovate and don't change anything. Like once they go, hey, well, we reskinned it or we innovated with Assassin's Creed Origins, and then we just made a fucking paste and copy of it with Odyssey and Valhalla, and then we've gone back to sort of what we liked, of what the community liked about the original with Mirage. And I'm like, just make a good game and the gamers will come. Word of mouth is still a thing in our environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why The Witcher 3 took off.
Yep.
And that is why I think Cyberpunk has taken back off again once they got the new DLC. And that's what I think The Witcher 4 is going to be as well, is just making sure that it's a good game at its core. Dragon's Dogma 2, great game at its core. And that's what us as gamers really want. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very, very good points, Panda. Before we do head out, I wanted to at least mention this. Take this with a grain of salt because of where it's coming from. I know maybe they got some of this stuff wrong before recently, so don't hate the messenger. That's me.
Hate the messenger. It's a messenger no matter what.
Yeah.
Gears 6 might appear at the Xbox showcase. it's saying people aren't ready for how good this is going to look. So this is coming from Nate the Hate is one of them. He chimed in with similar statements posted on Reset Era about Gears 6. He's surprised that the game wasn't featured at the June showcase. He also believes it will finally show what this console generation can do. Please, I hope that is true.
Yes.
Outside of Hellblade 2, of course. Much like the first Gears of War did for the Xbox 360 back in the day. Absolutely. So, and Jeff Grubb is also chiming in on this as well. He said he's heard some stuff might be happening with Gears 6 this summer. So he thinks that the tease about it, possibly Gears 6 being at the June showcase, sounds right to him. He says this seems like something that we can expect. So you can believe it or not. I mean, it feels like it's time, right? Like we kind of been like, where's Gears? Where's Gears? Like what's going on with it? We know Coalition has been helping a lot of these other studios out. Maybe that's, been taking away from their time developing the new Gears. But David, are you excited for more Gears talk? Do you think maybe there's something to this rumor about Gears 6 possibly showing up at Xbox's June showcase?
Oh, dude, I'm super excited. I've been theorizing that this is the end of Gears as we know it today. I think that this is because Gears 1, 2, and 3, and then 4, 5, 6 is going to end the second trilogy.
Yes.
I don't foresee the Gears franchise just being done, but I think Gears as we know it is today, might end here. And if that's the case, give us, I think Panda said it earlier, right? Give us Gears 1 feeling. If my theory is right and you're wrapping up the Gears story as we know it before it turns into something else, maybe it gets its God of War 2018 moment later on, right? If that's the case, give me Gears 1. Give me dark, give me gritty. My most interesting thing is how they're going to retcon the end of 5. I don't want to spoil it, right? But we have to make a decision, and we all didn't make, it's 50-50 choice, right? How are you going to retcon that for Gear 6? Because we all...
Which one are you going to
make? I felt bad. I'm going to tell you right now, right? I'm spoiler alert. I'm sorry. I felt bad. I killed JD.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I was like, fame, you so Marcus has been through enough. What are you doing? Bob was like, I killed the black guy. I couldn't do it.
That's why I didn't want. I'm glad you started. I'm glad you started, David. Because I didn't want to admit it. You know what? I did the same thing. So I was like, yeah, you go ahead, David.
I got to go back and I got to say JD because Marcus I felt so bad. I mean, Marcus has been through enough. But I was like, bro, I can't kill the black guy. I was like, JD's been an asshole. He's annoying. But now I'm gonna go back and do it again, and I'm gonna save him. But how they're going to reconcile that for Gears 6 is going to be very interesting. And I just want to kill off both characters. What they're going to do is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's Nero was saying don't forget to let people know we are on Spotify now. I'll put this episode up probably tomorrow because I'll be busy on a podcast tonight. But yeah, if you guys want to click on the link, if you want to listen to the show on Spotify, you can absolutely do so. The link is in the chat right now. So that's the thing now. Toolman says Gears of War 1 through 3 are superb. Those are my favorites too. Like I agree with Panda. Like I want that old Gears of War feeling back in this new one. I feel like it, like most games, once you start getting 3, 4, 5, and you're making like all these games, like I feel like a lot of games kind of lose that original feeling to it, and it's hard to maybe recapture that. But go ahead, Panda.
You've got a game like that where you're running through and you're like, his wife gets taken, and you spend the whole time trying to go find out where she's taken. Then you get there and it's too late. Sorry, spoiler if you haven't played the first two. But I'm trying to keep it as unspoiler as possible and generic as possible. But that moment where you see his reaction to that, and then what he does in number 3 when he sacrifices himself, like you need that, and that isn't what's in the new trilogy at this point, and that's what they're missing, and that's what I feel like Gears 6 needs. Is they really need to hit you in the feels. Mass Effect does the same thing around hitting you in the feels. Like your crew gets taken, and if you take too long to get to them, some of them are dead. Or you invest and you don't do the loyalty missions, and there's a chance that those people could die. And so you want a game that you feel invested in, you care about, and there's impact, and then there's cause and effect and all of this, and you aren't getting that from the Gears 5, Gears 4 and Gears 5. I see what they're trying to do.
Yep.
I know what they're trying to do. It's not hitting the same way that the first 3 did, and because it's not
agree.
like there's storytelling, there's the environmental storytelling. The environmental storytelling isn't quite there either. And I don't really care about the machines in the Gears games that are like.
I don't either.
I'm just no.
Nope.
Give me more of the hive and all of this stuff.
100%. Way more interesting.
And they need to make it a lot more than rather than just like a bunch of bad guys charging at you. Make it more visceral around like when you're fighting and there's only a couple of them. That could be life or death because of you really want it dark, gritty gameplay where you're like raging when you die and you have to rerun the sequence again because you fucked up your timing or something and you didn't quite get to what you needed to get to, and you're just not getting that currently. Gears 6 needs to do that.
Absolutely. I think it feels like we're all on the same page on that. Like Gears, like the other Gears games it's funny, like Gears 5 to me is still better than 90% of all games out there, but it was straying too far from the path. Yeah, definitely. I think that, I feel like 4 was probably the lowest point for me personally in the series, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm excited to see, something on Gear 6. I just want to see what the hell Coalition is doing because they're such a talented studio. They're masters of UE5. So I'm excited to see what could possibly happen. Yeah, exactly, too, man. The Gears of War 1 through 3 stories are unmatched.
And give us a new controller. I love this controller. Loved it. Give us a new one. I had to get it out.
They're going to, David. That's what they do.
I really love their controllers. This one, I got the one I got JD's controller. I got the red controller. I got all of them. Continue to give us a controller. I'll be happy.
The the Xbox One S Gears Edition console with like the see-through bit underneath with the like cracking of the ice. I was like, give us some Gears themed consoles, please.
Yep.
We need those Gears themed consoles.
I feel like Xbox has like completely gone away from the theme we got one this entire
what
gen.
About maybe the wraps are what's taking over, like the $50 wrap.
Do those because man, we've gotten 3, the 2 camos. I got the Starfield one to go to Starfield controller, but give us more wraps, man, because I don't think
we need more wraps.
Unless it's a giveaway, they're not doing theme consoles.
Give me enough so I can make a wallpaper of wraps on my background.
There you go.
I think wraps are the way to go, though, right? Because if it's only $50, you don't have to buy a whole new fucking console, and you can change up the style. They should be making a wrap for every single first-party game, in my opinion. Fable, Hellblade 2, Gears, all of them should have a wrap because I think they would sell. It's like, give us what we want. If we're not going to get the console, give us the wrap. That's what I'm saying. But on that, guys, we're about the 2-hour mark. Thank you, David, man, for hanging out.
Hey, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, dude. It definitely make sure to check out David's website, Level 1 Gaming. Everything will be down below in the description. But let us know anyways, David, where everyone can find you and all the places you are. You're doing a lot of great work out there, man. I think people need to follow this guy.
Yeah, for me personally, my name's on the screen. It's at FameENT2K. But for everything that we do, it's at Level 1 Gaming, LV1Gaming.com. And then on our YouTube, LV1 Gaming. If you see the Phoenix, that's us. We do a weekly show every Wednesday, Double XP Podcast. We do everything from developer interviews to game reviews. We've been blessed to be able to get so many AAA games early to be able to review, thanks to our partners from around the globe. I just want to say thank you to you guys for the invite again. The artwork you guys did for the show is absolutely amazing. You guys are awesome. Panda, that's our first time I think we've ever spoken. I gotta find you on Twitter. I can't find you. I was searching on the podcast trying to find your handle. So
Red Dead Panda with the number 1 at the end.
That's probably what I got to do. I didn't put the 1. That's what it was. Okay,
that's what it is.
You guys are freaking amazing. But if you guys want to check out Level 1 Gaming, please, like you said, description down below. Guys, go sub to the channel. I promise you're going to have a good time.
Absolutely. Definitely go check it out, guys. Their website's super impressive too. Like I like the aesthetic of the website. I was going through it, reading some of the articles. Congratulations on making that website, man. It's really impressive.
Thank you. We're trying, man. It's hard to compete at it.
It is, dude. This is a competitive space. Like that's why I wanted you on here. I know you guys David, I know you're busting your ass. I am a content creator. I do this outside of this for a living. I know how hard this shit is. So that's why I'm like, these guys are putting in the work. Guy, please pay attention to them, internet. Like you guys need more attention, in my opinion. And I think just keep doing what you're doing, and more good things will come your way. 100%. Panda, where can everybody find you? Most likely playing Dragon Dogma or Halo.
One of those two. People. I've got like Mr. Whiskey up on screen, who my like porn is like designed off.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he's like, hi. But
the real really Mr. Whiskey.
The real Mr. Whiskey. No, I need to go sort him out. He needs some
love and intention.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
He's still coming. You can find me on on Xbox playing Dragon's Dogma. Not tonight though, sadly, unless I get onto my sister's console. So I'm going to convince her that I need to play Dragon's Dogma at her place. And then you can, I'm still working on my review of Dragon's Dogma. So when that comes out, look out for it.
Are you still doing the quick tips video for dummies like me?
I've got a list. I was like, Umbra, I should just send you this draft copy of it because he's just got the game.
He should. He needs all the help he can get. Shout out to you, Umbra. Appreciate everyone coming out tonight. Obviously, you guys can find me tomorrow again with Dave on the Gamers Council. We'll be chopping it up with C Money and Doodle, some of our favorite people in the podcast community. It's going to be a blast. We're going to be talking about a lot of the same subjects that we talked about tonight because I'm the guy who produces the show. So I didn't want to make a whole brand new show. So that's how it's going to be. But you'll get their opinions. They're very opinionated people. I think you guys will definitely love tomorrow's show as well. And make sure to visit us, guys, every Saturday here on the Aim Down Sights podcast. I think Next Gen Nero will be with us next weekend, right, Nero? Yeah, if you're still here. I appreciate you guys coming out. Chat was very lively tonight, as usual. I love you guys. Peace out. We'll see you on the next episode. Later, guys.
Bye.